So I'm here with Peter Maseko and one of the mamas from Botawira. And Peter, you've talked about how you've purchased several parcels of land recently for growing corn. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's not very easy to be feeding the kids. I mean, we have close to about 110 kids, and we are supposed to feed them, and our main staple food is maize. And up to very recently, we've actually had to spend lots and lots of money to actually buy maize, for them to eat in Sima, our staple food, our main dish in the country. So I felt that it was very important for us to make sure that we should be able to produce our own food. That was the main objective for actually buying, property. We would want to grow our own maize. That's another way of trying to be self-sustaining, in some ways, in terms of food. So this is one of the plans that I have, so that we should make sure that at least in terms of maize, we really have to produce our own maize. And I want to thank God that, the mamas and the kids have actually been very helpful in order for us to be able to produce a crop like this one, because they have actually been coming out to work, to plant, to apply, like farm inputs. Farm inputs, I simply mean, fertilizers, for us to really have a bumper yield. So apart from actually producing our own maize, we are also thinking in terms of breeding some chicken, layers, so that, in future, we should be able to produce our own eggs. But up to now, we actually buy eggs, from elsewhere, and that has actually been expensive. But I know that, there is a way for us to have our own eggs. We may not just produce eggs for ourselves, but I'm sure that we may have even surplus, to sell. Like recently, courtesy of, the Bilhaz's daughters, who actually donated some money for us to come up with an irrigation system where we were able to produce our own vegetables. We produced a lot of vegetables to the extent that, there was more than enough for the kids. We ended up selling some even to the community. So, that's what I think maybe we would really want to do, to make sure that we just don't depend on, people helping us, but we should also be able to help ourselves. So one of the ways is to be able to produce our own food.
Great. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.